Crack Futbolero is the latest soccer trend in the 915. Contact us on Facebook or Instagram to get your gear today. Hello, El Paso. Welcome to another segment of Local Icons, and we have a very special guest with us today. He's the founder and CEO of Prep One. It's a student-athlete marketing platform. Those of you that have seen him on Instagram and Facebook, you guys know exactly what we're talking about. It's so cool to see somebody doing something for our student-athletes around the area and in El Paso. So let's give him a warm welcome, Mr. Jesse Tovar. Hey, Jesse, how are you, sir?
How are you, sir? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man.
Welcome. Have a seat.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate
we want to know so much about what you're doing because it's so
man.
inspirational. Yeah. And this show is all about motivation and inspiration. Working with kids is something that I think requires, some acknowledgement, some recognition, because not many out there are doing it. So thank you very much for what you do. How you been?
It's been great. It's been phenomenal. I know, given the situation right now, where everybody's trying to adapt what's going on, but for the most part, I've been blessed, and seeing the growth of Prep One and what you guys are doing here is great. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
We kind of seen your posts, randomly on social media, and I'm really intrigued, with how long, the short time that you've been around and the following that you have. How many kids do you think you're following, or what's the objective behind Prep One? Do you find a kid and then you follow that person, or is it by team? Is it individually? How does it work?
When I first started this a little over 2 years ago, and I tell this the story to everybody that wants to hear it, that asks how did Prep One start? It started with just myself and an iPhone 7. And I still have that iPhone 7. I should have brought it with me.
Should frame it, man. Should frame it.
The way it happened is I was just covering a sporting event, a football game. I learned a lot of cool tricks on how to get a student athlete recruited through my daughter's own soccer recruiting. She had a very successful recruiting campaign as a high school student athlete. And during the time of her recruiting, I was getting contacted by random families, random parents from various sports, asking me if I could assist them in marketing and helping them promote their athlete. Yeah. And that's when I first had the idea of I could actually expand this and help other student athletes, not only the kids that I know, but student athletes everywhere. Yeah. And before you know it, talk to the right people, met right individuals, and it came to fruition. I got my logo done. I started just following athletes, promoting athletes, attributes, stuff like that. And before you know it, it took a life on its own. And sure. It was gauged for just recruiting. Now we have apparel, we cover sporting events, we do creative edits, we expanded to the Austin area, to the Dallas area. So little by little, we're chipping away, and it's for a good cause. It's to help student athletes and their families, help them get discovered, and advise them on the collegiate recruiting process, because it's such a tedious process. And a lot of people don't know exactly what to do during the course of that process.
Yeah, I completely understand. You and I share something in common. We both have kids in college, and I'm a former teacher as well, as I was telling you just a little bit right before the interview. And it's important. The years that I was a teacher and coaching at Bel Air, we had the challenge on a yearly basis, monthly basis, to get these kids out there and get them known, especially those that have those merits. And your daughter, was an outstanding, because I actually follow your wife as well on social media. Great. And your daughter has so many accolades, man, that she's obviously had a lot of offers, you said, right?
Yeah, when it was all said and done at the end of her high school career, I believe we had 36 offers.
Jesus Christ.
And this came after an ACL injury. So who knows?
After.
So yeah, it was a very trying time for us, because we had a lot of momentum going into her junior year. Then the injury came. Then it was like somebody shut off a water faucet. There was no contact, no emails, nobody cared anymore. Yeah. And we had to start back. Everybody wanted to know how she was going to come back from injury, if her knee was going to be the same, was she able going to be the same athlete. And so all the offers, all the potential offers had stopped. All the chatter had stopped until she came back. They were able to evaluate her, and people were taking chances. And She ended up getting a full ride to Southern, and it's been a great experience for her thus far.
Nice.
Just in the last couple of months, she's had to survive about 3 hurricanes.
Oh my God.
But it's a different dynamic than what we see here in West Texas. But
And it's a D1 school.
it's a D1 school, and
good for her.
now it's about helping those little secrets that I learned, and how to motivate individuals and help families and advise them as far as what the recruiting process entails. Now we're passing that knowledge on to families and athletes.
Yeah, and it's important for them to learn.
Yes.
The procedures. Real quick, what did you do for your daughter that got her there? What is it, kind of the main pointers, for you? Because I'm sure you were still new.
Yeah.
And you were just kind of doing anything you could. What were you doing? Were you doing videos?
No. I was a deputy sheriff. I was a deputy sheriff, and I was trying to find a way to help my daughter get promoted, to be seen, to get her stuff out there. So I started off with a Twitter page, and Twitter at the time, I read a lot. I read a lot as far as what were the current trends in recruiting, and Twitter was a it starting to become an essential tool for coaches and athletes to message one another. So I started. I created her Twitter account, uploaded her game film on there, anything that any video of her training, any picture of her that I would, any special moment of her playing soccer that I was able to, yes, exactly. I was able to capture it and put it on her Twitter. It showed her character, it showed her work ethic, it showed her skill set, and before you know it, she had a lot of following, not just her friends and local media, which they absolutely loved her, but it was a lot of college coaches that started following her.
Wow. What was your position?
She was a defender, and she ended up playing. She was a defender in club, forward in high school, and she was recruited for college as a defender. But now they just moved her up front.
So now she's playing up front.
She's playing up front. Yes.
Wow. Yeah. That's actually well. I have 3 boys, and I think all my boys play midfield and 2 defenders, right? I have 2 defenders and 1 forward.
Yes.
Midfielder. But that's cool.
Yeah.
Now that you've kind of set ground, you've been going at 2 years already.
Yeah, a little over 2 years.
You're not charging for any of this just yet.
Yet.
People need to jump on this bandwagon.
Well, see, the thing is, right now my website is under development, and it'll eventually be a subscription-based site. As a matter of fact, and I'll reveal it first on your show. I'm currently looking for maybe 10 database testers,
Okay.
So they could actually be featured on my new page.
These are athletes you're talking about. Okay.
Athletes. I'm actually,
I have 1 or 2 for you
Perfect.
already.
Let's get them going. But that way we could be able to see if we're able to upload their content, all their attributes, and they could be showcased on Prep One, the official site and app that's coming up in the next couple of months, and we'll be able to market them even more effectively than we are now.
Perfect. That's super cool.
Yes.
Once this website goes on and it launches, people are going to be able to access this website, and then they're going to be able to buy a subscription or their own page where they can upload all their content?
Absolutely. Each player will have their own URL under the umbrella of Prep One, but college coaches will be able to subscribe to them. And not only that, we're going to have a mapping system where college coaches will be able to pinpoint areas of anywhere in the country where there's a Prep One athlete, and if a coach is passing through El Paso, and let's just say for football, he's looking for a linebacker. All he has to do is subscribe to Prep One, punch up which linebackers are available, uncommitted, and he'll get a listing of linebackers, their attributes, everything that they need to know.
You could even add their game schedule there and be like, oh, I'm going to be like that. I'm going to hit them up.
Yes, it's gauged to be a multifaceted tool, and it's been 3 years in the making.
Jesus.
I pitched it around a couple of people, and at first people were, to my surprise, people were like, you know what, it's a great idea, but it's not going to work in El Paso. So I went for broke. People were a little hesitant in supporting the idea, and before you know it, it came to fruition. And I've had excellent partnerships, excellent support. I have close to a 30-person team right now, and they're phenomenal. They're good.
These are mainly photographers, or these video editors? What are they?
Yeah, they're a combination from photographers, videographers, content creators, just sport writers, website.
Who runs your Instagram? You'd run it on your own or somebody else's?
No. It's a combination with me and personnel from the team.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, we run our Instagram. We're really big on social media right now. We're continuing to grow at a very rapid rate. So athletes love to seek us out for shout outs, and we'll give them as many shout outs as we can. But keep in mind, I get about 40 to 60 messages a day.
Jeez.
Just either picking advice, wanting to know what it is.
Yeah.
I've had parents that have actually thrown money my way and saying, here's this money. I want you to promote my kid. And I reluctantly tell them, you know what? I want to do it the right way. Let's wait till the site comes out.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'll advise you for free.
Yeah.
And I'll guide your athlete, and I'll help your athlete where we could market them effectively, where they can start being discovered by coaches at the next level.
Wow. Wow. The honesty behind it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take this time to kind of recap a little bit on your site.
Yeah.
Not the site, but your Instagram. Some of the images I want people to know, because they might be wondering, well, what is Prep One exactly? Those of you that don't know, let's do a quick little recap on Prep One social media pages. I have never seen this video. I've never seen any of the footage till now. But it leads me to the next question, Jesse. All your team is pretty much all volunteers, right? They're all kind of joining in on the objective, on the vision. Tell us a little bit about your team and how's it going?
Phenomenal talent. I'm surrounded by phenomenal talent. These guys are top-notch guys. I mean, and I want to name them all. I give them all a plug, but
absolutely.
You know, they're fantastic talents, from photographers to videographers to content creators to sports writers, and everybody just believes in Prep One, in my vision. Right now, we rely on sponsorships for some overhead pay, because right now everything that we're doing with the media days, promoting these athletes, going out to these games and coverage, we're hoping that
it's a lot of work.
You know, it's a lot of work, and we're seeking sponsorships. So sponsors that want their logo and their company's name on our product that's being seen in the masses, by all means, give us a call, and we'll put your stuff on there.
How many followers do you have on? Because let's talk about your followers real quick on Facebook and Instagram. Approximately, what are your numbers there, so people can know about?
Well, you know what? I believe on Facebook, it's a little over 13,000, about like 13,300, something like that. Twitter, we're about to hit 10,000. Instagram, we're about to hit 8,000. Wow. So, and that's the key. Not just growing one-dimensional. You got to grow in all facets. So we've tapped into the right market at the right time, and we're growing on all the platforms, which is, you know, it's very beneficial to Prep One and what we're trying to do.
Because you said earlier, all these platforms kind of tailor to a particular age group. Tell me what you just said right now. The way I see it and the way I gauge it is Facebook is for parents, for mommy and daddy, their bragging rights, right? Yes. Twitter is for coaches and student athletes that want to get recruited and promoted. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat's for friends. Yeah. It's for the fun stuff. Mainly kids are following, all those athletes are following, they're pushing all that.
Absolutely. And what that does, it just cross promotes what they're all about. There are a lot of colleges that are on Instagram, but not as many as on Twitter. A lot of most all division type programs, if not their main program, but their coaches are have an account on Twitter. Wow. And they're effectively recruiting student athletes, especially with this COVID situation. They're recruiting student athletes through Twitter.
Wow, this is insane. I had no clue.
Yes.
Let me ask you, and everything that you have, all the followers that you have, are they organically, or do you actually sponsor your page? Do you pay to kind of?
No, they're all organically. I think the only time we've ever paid for a sponsorship was when we launched our apparel a couple of months ago. That was the only time that we ever paid anything. Everything has been, and we're mainly followed by student athletes, obviously, and college coaches.
Wow.
Yeah.
Check this out, guys. This is some of their gear. that you get to find. What are these called?
Oh, those are Gators, the Prep One Gators. Actually, those are not for sale. We give these out to the student athletes. Once they perform, that we have some game changer performances in week to week. We'll go ahead and give them the player of the game. We'll give them one of these.
So these go right around your neck, up to your nose. You can always represent Prep One.
Yes, sir.
What does it say over here? Is it?
Oh, that's our partner that manufactured S3 Sports.
S3 Sports?
Yeah, and going a little bit about in our
Remind me a little bit of ESPN.
Yeah. No, the
Sports
S3 Sports is one of our great partners, along with the 915 Showcase and Top View Fitness. Those guys, we do phenomenal work together, and we have a lot of small businesses that are partners with Prep One, and they want to grow, and this is what I tell my team: we grow together. We started together, now we grow together. And a lot of them have, nobody on Prep One has left on bad terms. They've left, I've had maybe 2 or 3 guys leave since the onset of Prep One, but they left for better things. Well, one of them was a college kid, he just wanted to enjoy college and he didn't have time. One of them left for a media job, and another one just signed over with the El Paso Times.
Nice.
So they're always going to bigger and better things.
It's obvious, that you haven't made a dime off of this. You're pretty much just kind of sustaining and making things right. You're
Yes, sir.
building the infrastructure right now. You're building the backbone, which, because of that, he's actually been working with Ed Stansbury.
Yes.
Former NFL player.
Yeah.
Big icon here, which you need to tell.
Legend, local legend.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
I'll bring him over here. Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Tell me a little bit about what you guys doing.
Our
with that
partnership
show.
with the 915 Showcase is just grown to fruition. It started off at a lunch. Ed Stansbury moved back into town. He got involved with the showcase in 2018 before the football season. I had a lunch with him, and we actually sat down, and he kind of wanted to gauge as far as what Prep One was about. Obviously, I was unproven. I was a new kid on the block. I was all excited about this new idea of Prep One, but I didn't really have much to show for it. So we had a lunch, a very formal lunch, just formalities, get them out of the way. But what we started at that first lunch was a wonderful friendship, and we actually talked and initiated the Wave of Love. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. Over at Jefferson High School, they have the Children's Hospital that oversees the football field at Jefferson High. So at the end of the first quarter, for every Jefferson High football game, the both teams, the fans, the referees, they go to the area of the field where the children at the Children's Hospital can see the field, and they wave at each other. You got to go out there, man. It's very moving.
Oh, wow.
It got the first year. It got so much coverage, media coverage, and it all started at that lunch with Ed Stansbury. And since with that idea, he knew people at the Children's Hospital. I knew the people at the coach at Jefferson High School. We all came together and we just made it happen. Wow. At first we thought politics are going to come into play. Someone's going to block it. Something's going to happen. And no, everybody was on board. I got that idea from the University of Iowa because the Hawkeyes have a children's hospital that they're able to see their stadium. And when my daughter was at the hospital at some point, and I looked outside when they were building Jefferson Stadium, because the Silver Fox Stadium, because they didn't have that stadium there. Yeah. When they were building it, I looked and I'm like, wow, you could actually see the football field, and it'd be pretty cool for those players to wave at the kids up here. So moving a year later, I brought that idea over to Ed Stansbury during our lunch. It came to fruition, and it's been a great hit ever since. And I think this is year 3 of the Wave of Love, and it's just a wonderful.
And it started with the lunch meeting with Ed Stansbury.
It started with a lunch meeting, and from then on, our partnership grew. That first year, I just wanted a place at the table. I just wanted to be involved with the showcase and get involved with the showcase game, the game itself. And it was kind of like an audition for Prep One. By year 2, we hit the ground running, and the 915 Showcase was powered by Prep One and our team, and we work very well together. We complement each other very well. And last year we had 60 college coaches come for the combine.
So the 915 Showcase, right? This is with Ed Stansbury and a few others.
Yes.
Their objective is to showcase student athletes.
Yes, it's called the Greater El Paso Showcase. They give so much back to the community. They have a combine at the end of the year, and then they have the All-Star game also at the end of the year. Obviously, right now with the COVID situation, there's a lot of things up in the air, but it's good stuff for El Paso. These scholarship opportunities that they provide for these kids. There's just so many sponsors that have to participate to make this a success.
Yeah, man, I mean, you need different entities,
Yes.
different experience, individuals that can bring so much to the table.
Yeah,
We were
and-
talking right now the potential that Live and Talented with Prep One,
Yeah, if it's a
the
sports
possibility-
segment, well, let's get it
Yeah.
going. Let's get it
We're
going.
gonna bring a sports segment pretty soon to you guys, and I'm sure Prep One will be involved. Is there anybody you'd like to thank? Because I know you work with different entities.
Oh
Before
my
we sign
God,
off,
yes.
you need
You
to
know
credit
what?
some of
The
these
guys, aside from Ed and Jason Flores and Rick Hernandez over at the 915 Showcase, all our media partners, we're talking to all the media guys that do a phenomenal job here in town, especially given the situation. I mean, you got the guys from Top View Fitness, Robert Godinez, Joseph Iglesias. Those guys, they train with Aaron Jones, Steven Montes, some of the high caliber, the Locomotive, since a lot of the local guys, they have a lot to do with their training and development and their skill set. But just my team, I'm very blessed to have the guys, the videographers such as HDZ Focus, Savage Edits, PZH, the photographers, you have Sammy Espinosa, DR Photography, Rudy Davila, Cozy Rangel. You have Big O Photos. I just have so many, and I apologize if I forgot anybody because there's close to 30 of us.
Yeah.
The guys in East Texas. You have the videographer David Parada, Greg the Hammer, who's one of the top photographers for Texas high school football. We have Connor Eleanor in Austin. We have so many. Our team is growing. We're doing it for the right reasons. There's a lot of blessings. A lot of things had to be put in place for this to be a success.
Yeah.
And we're gonna continue doing our thing and continue to grow.
This is no longer a 915 thing. This
No,
is
no,
now
no.
all Texas and maybe
Yes.
beyond.
Yes, we're working with a lot of regional athletes already, and we're just trying to do it for the kids, and we're trying to do it for the right reasons. And again, I've already had my career in public service for 21 years. I was a former deputy sheriff. Now I am a teacher. I'm not trying to become some sort of rich tycoon. I'm trying to give back. But time is money, and what we're going to do with a website is going to be subscription based, and it's not going to be anything that's going to break the wallet either. It's going to be very affordable, and yes, very accessible, very affordable, and people are going to love it. And we're excited for what's to come.
And I'm really excited to see that website launch.
Yes.
I'm actually gonna, thank you for your service, not just to law enforcement, but also now what you're doing with the kids. Like I said, you and I have kids in college.
Yeah.
I'm a former teacher. You're
Yes, sir.
a teacher. So we kind of, we know exactly what we've gone through. And thank you so much. Prep One, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be doing some wonders. You need to follow them on Instagram. We're going to put the information below. You have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
yes.
And maybe you can also find them on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we're on
channel?
YouTube, Prep One USA. We adapted to USA because there was a lot of, especially, it's a funny story. Right now with the COVID situation, there's the Prep is terminology used for high school athletes and the medical field. So right now you have a lot of prep pertaining to medicine because of the COVID situation.
Yeah.
So I got to get my pages verified so everybody will know what Prep One is, where Prep One's
I
at.
love the name. I really
Yeah.
do. I think it fits just right. I don't know, it's perfect. The logo is simple. It's iconic. Guys, check them out. Remember, these are free. Reach out to Jesse Tovar and his pages. We're actually going to be able to keep some of these. So thanks so much for being here, Jesse.
No, thank you
I
for
can't
having
thank
me.
you enough.
Thank you. I appreciate
It's been
that.
a pleasure knowing you. Little did I know that, I knew your wife for a while already.
Yeah. She told
Yeah.
me because I told her I was going to come to the studio. She's like, I know that guy, and I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah, my wife's
yeah.
a dance teacher here,
Yeah.
so they've
Yeah, they-
talked about.
yes.
They've actually loaned us their dance studio. When we
Oh,
needed
okay.
it. So, Jesse, thank you so much.
No, great,
Prep
thank
One.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our time with Jesse Tovar and Prep One. You need to check them out on social media. We'll see you guys next time. Crack Futbolero is the latest soccer trend in the 915. Contact us on Facebook or Instagram to get your gear today.